This is for the panel in general. What's your experience with faith groups and religion, positive and negative, in your fields?
So, faith groups. Your church, your mosque, your synagogue, what's the response?
Can I? Actually, I attend the church, Korean Community Church. I think it's very, very helpful to make a social group, because our organization is to help people with disabilities build a personal network, which means in the church they know each other, families and the person with disability, but they are not that connected. So if we slightly help to by saying them, why don't you be a friend of this person, because this person is not able to make friends, then not everybody comes to him, but out of 1 out of 10 willingly to be a friend. And also, as because in our church we created a helping hands to take care of a person with a disability, so that other parents go to the service, so that they can wholly focus on the service. That helped the parents get energy, so that they can help their children better. So I think the faith-based community is really, really grateful and useful, helpful environment for our children with disability.
I have a question from the web streaming community. Would the speakers be able to provide specific examples of what has been helpful from service providers to reach marginalized families?
Well, I think what's been very helpful is what we're seeing now, which is very exciting, is second generation professionals. So in the South Asian, for example, in ACT South Asian Autism Project, it wouldn't have happened if we tried it 5 or 10 years ago. And now we have this network of South Asian professionals who came to ACT to talk about the lack of services for the South Asian community. And of course, you should never put your head over the parapet when you come and talk to me. So we then involve them in this committee, and they have been doing phenomenal work, including doing interviews on local radio, in Punjabi in this case. So I think one of the important things is to recognize that you may have allies in the community who can work with families and have more sensitivity to families in the situation. Often they may not speak, and committee members have bemoaned this, they may not speak perfect Punjabi or Korean because they are second generation, they haven't been educated in that language, but they do have some sensitivity, and they do have, some basic linguistic abilities, and that's a great bridge. And that's one that I think we're using very successfully now in British Columbia, because we're lucky enough to have this second generation who aren't just becoming doctors and engineers, but are becoming now social workers, speech language pathologists, and behavior analysts. So it's a very interesting development.
Deborah, I don't know if there's a name for such a kind of person, but I think they're essentially cultural brokers.
Yeah.
And we can think of it in that way, as somebody that can help you help to mediate. And that's been very useful in the Bronx in New York with the Korean churches,
Yeah.
because but not every minister in a Korean church is open to this, but some are, and you have to find that right person.
I think that takes us to the to 12:15 and lunch, where we can continue the conversation. But first, I'd like to offer very warm thanks to our panelists today. I think Dr. Grinker talked in on Strange Minds about the everyday heroism of parents. It's a term that stuck in my mind, and I think this is kind of heroic to come on here and be so open about one's community and one's own personal experience, and also to help other people navigate that. So please join me in thanking our panelists.